And hello everyone, all about the gyro here. And I wanted to do a video about this very interesting post that came up. And this post talks about the percentage of average starts of this season versus last season. Now, this season, of course, is 11 weeks for this metric, season one being 12, but it gives us enough trending information. And what it comes down to is a lot of series have been losing participation. So the first metric I want to look at is this right here. 7% almost decline in overall road starts. And this includes the new series. So remember, GT3 Fix is new for this season. So even if you include that very popular series, which you're going to see in the statistics in a moment, there's still a decline. So let's look at the favorable ones, and that's these little grouping here. 8 series have gone plus. Radical, Indy Pro 2K, iRacing Grand Prix Series, Formula Renault 2.0, Classic Lotus Grand Prix, SynLab PCC, Formula Renault 3.5, and the Michelin Pilot Challenge. Now, those are very interesting series in terms of attendance. Let's look at the Radical. It's at 61 per slot. Additionally, for the Radicals, if we scroll down here to, let's see if he's got it included in the master spreadsheet here. I may have gone by it, but point being, nope, right here, 24 for split size. So what we're looking at is racers per time slot and split size. So what the Radicals are telling me at 61 is you're getting 3 splits of 20. So that's a very nice, comfortable race for people in C license to manage. So that is the sign of a series that's becoming healthier. Indy Pro 2000 on the surface, 43.3% growth. However, when you look at the numbers, it's up to 18, which means the original from last season was averaging 12 or 13 per split. Significantly, Indy Pro has a reasonable split size. They are also at 24. What does that tell you? That means more often than not, they're getting one split. It's good that they're increasing, but out of all the times they race during the week, they're only getting one split more often than not, and they're only averaging what they're averaging at 18. And it gives you also the total number of starts. Let's continue. Grand Prix Series, as I believe with the McLaren MP430. Formula Renault 2.0, 13%. For those who have watched Vlog 14 Part 1, you know that Formula Renault is going to be a series we're racing next year. They're up to 30. That means they're getting 2 splits on average every time out. They split at 26. So you're getting 2 splits of 15. A lot of this, I think, is because of refugees coming from F3. Lotus is getting an increase, but Lotus is a very, very low series. They're at 7. They've gained an increase, which means they've gained 1 person. Well, let's give some noise for SynLab, because as you remember out of 2020 Season 4, I was very critical about SynLab. They've gotten their house in order, and notice they are outdrawing the Skippies. 79 per, and their splits are 36 each. That means they're getting 3 splits, because 2 splits is 72. So very, very well done to SynLab. And then you have the Formula 3.5. It's Formula Renault 3.5. They've gained 1 or 2 people. And the Imshin Pilot Challenge is basically break even. Now we're going to talk about what we perceive as, quote, popular, and in reality, they haven't been. The first biggie I want to discuss, Skip Barber. They are down just over 6%. Skippies right now are at 79 versus 83. Last season, Skippy was comfortably outdrawing F3. That is no longer the case. I think there's 2 things going on. One, Ben Eves is not streaming, along with the exposure that it had, along with the YouTube videos that were being done about Skip Barber. And secondly, the schedule. There were a lot of paid tracks this season. I think there were 10, if memory serves. And that is discouraging some people from participating in this series. So 6% drop. Porsche iRacing Cup losing 8%. That's a very hard car. I'm not too discouraged by that. But now we're going to start getting into some of the big ones. The Ferrari GT3 Fix lost basically 10%. 10%. And when you look at it, you're like, oh God, it's 10%, but they're still averaging 129. And I think what happened is some people moved on to other series. They just transitioned. Actually, I looked at the wrong one. I apologize. 132. GT3 Challenge is pegging 129, and yet overall we're down almost 7% on road. Keep that in mind. F3 lost 10%, and they are outdrawing Skippy. 10% is a lot. It's a lot. Mazda's has dropped 13%. That's understandable. But this number, some of these numbers coming up were very shocking to me. 16% drop in VRS. VRS is a very popular series, 151, and it's a drop of 16%. Similar drops in the European Sprint Series. This is one of those that I raced in. As you know, they're now down to 61. Spec Racer Ford dropped 22%, but the new car is coming. I expect this to get some people coming back. But now I want to talk about 2 series that we raced that really surprised me in terms of lack of turnout. Actually, there's a third one on here. The first one is the USF 2000. 36% drop. That means a third dropped out of that series and were not replaced. So last season, they had 21, and that's basically 2/3 of what the previous number was. So they were averaging north of 30 last season. They've shed a third. The Touring Car Challenge, half of the participation has gone. A lot of talk about TCR, but they have literally halved from 32 to 16. But the glaring one that I skipped over, here's proof that the poor driving standards plus the poor scheduling is killing the IMSA series significantly. 35% cutoff. To give you an idea, IMSA Michelin Pilot Challenge is averaging 49, and they basically broke even. The IMSA Haggerty iRacing series has dropped to 102. They were at 100. Let's see, 35% loss. They were probably in the 140s, high 130s. They've dropped basically an entire split. That's the easiest way to visualize this, which explains why getting that certificate in GTD has been so much harder. They have 40. So they went from having 4 splits down to 3 on average. So, very telling numbers. I did put a comment in here. And what I put in is the concerning metric is the general decline on road. I'm happy to see some good series get large percentage increases. I wasn't surprised at IMSA, but the VRS one dropping 16% was a big one because this puts paid to the theory of everyone wants to race GT3. Well, here's the proof that no, not everybody wants to race GT3. VRS losing 16%. We look back at our statistics here. 151. Their split size is 30. So right now they're averaging 5 solid, eking over in the 6 more often than not. That's what 151 is. But when you lose 16%, that means you're going from 6 full slots to at times 5 or 4 on average. Like you're barely getting over. Now, I don't know where VRS is this week. I know ESS is at Road America, so those numbers may go up. But some very interesting statistics. But my concern is 7% general decline in road. Is part of that churn, is part of that the fact that people are getting fed up with the driving standards in some of the series, like F3, like IMSA. Very, very interesting. If you look at the bottom, 71% drop in the IR01. With the World Championship, if they go through with it, this number will improve. But yeah, some big surprises. TCR losing half. I'm surprised by that. Rough losing 40%. Supercar losing basically a quarter. But some very interesting and sobering reading. So, yeah, just thought I would share that with you. Found it very interesting. Anyway, my friends, take care of yourself. Take care of one another. God bless.